Thanks for watching, and don't think I don't appreciate it. I do. Well, thank you. I want to begin the show tonight with a bombshell that was dropped this morning on Bachelor Nation. Remember Colton Underwood, the virgin bachelor? Well, this morning he delivered what may go down as the most shocking finale in Bachelor history.
I've ran from myself for a long time. I've hated myself for a long time, and I'm gay.
Okay, well, I am too. I was just waiting for somebody else to say it. But wait a minute, if you're gay, why are you in a house dating 25 women? That was the big question, I guess. Was it fair to those women who were all there for the right reasons, I'm sure? I mean, does ABC now owe them a do-over? Could they sue? And how does Colton feel about putting the lives of so many dental hygienists on hold?
I just wish I wouldn't have dragged people into my own mess of figuring out who I was. I genuinely mean that. But I also, at the same time, but I can sit here and say I'm sorry to all of those women. I can also say thank you, because without them and without the Bachelor franchise, I don't know if this would have ever came out.
Well, on behalf of all of us here at ABC, you're welcome. We're glad to be of service. But this is, I mean, now we have to question everything. And it almost makes you wonder, should marriage even be a game show prize, you know? And of course, as is always the case when something like this happens, everybody's like, I knew it. I knew he was gay from the minute he said he was a virgin. It's a weird thing to take a victory lap for. What is the fascination with announcing I knew it when someone comes out as gay? What do you think, RuPaul sends you a medal or something? They don't. And the truth is, it doesn't matter. None of these relationships work out anyway. Gay, Colton could have been a mannequin in a department store, would have worked out the same way. The first clue Colton was gay should have been that he watches The Bachelor. That should have been, you know, everyone says they knew, but the only person who has proof is Billy Eichner, who sensed it right away.
The first thing I do, I'm gay. I know that's a shock, Colton. And that, I think, you should look into. Maybe you're the first gay bachelor and we don't even know. No. Put that in your promo. See you later.
Well, you know what? Maybe we should have Billy Eichner check all the bachelors, give them a once-over. There was evidence on social media, too, like the time Colton tweeted this lyric from Taylor Swift, "A friend to all is a friend to none." Taylor coming through with the hard truths. You know, there are no absolutes when it comes to sexual orientation, but quoting Taylor Swift is up there on the list. And this should have been a hint, too. The walk he took with Heather, the beautiful 23-year-old fashion student who'd never been kissed.
Oh, my gosh.
Fire.
The fire, the stars, the beach.
The wave.
Nothing better.
Nothing better than that. Amazing.
So good. So good.
Unbelievable. What are those lights out there?
That's what I was wondering. That's what I was asking. I think it's boats? I don't know.
Yeah, somebody should go look at that. I'll go. You stay here on the beach. I'm gonna. It's like one of. You know, it's like one of the Anne Hathaway scenes in Brokeback Mountain. And even the most famous moment from that season. You remember this?
He just jumped the fence.
And now we know why he jumped the fence. From now on, coming out will be referred to as jumping the fence. I only wish he. I wish he had announced this on the show. I mean, I'm sorry, Cassie, the final rose goes to Guillermo. But anyway, But I'm happy for Colton. I'm glad he figured this out. I wish him well. And this is, if you think about it, this is an important reminder to all of us that The Bachelor is a huge waste of everyone's time. Just huge. Hey, speaking of bachelors, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is having another heck of a week. The odds of Matt Gaetz going to prison are now higher than his hair. Last night, we learned from the New York Times that one of his associates told prosecutors, among other things, that Gaetz had encounters with women who were given cash in exchange for sex, which I think they call that prostitution. But then today, there were more revelations of wild house parties with local Republican officials. They would have after parties following official events with drugs and sex and pita chips, everything. And this is a nice little detail. The source said Gaetz liked to talk to the women who were hired to be at the party about politics. It's great. He's like the one guy at the bachelor party who keeps telling the strippers about his divorce. Two women who said they were at the parties told CNN they saw Gaetz taking pills they assumed were party drugs, and he had sex with the women, after which money would change hands. That's crazy. Has Matt Gaetz learned nothing from Donald Trump? You're supposed to have your lawyer pay the women after you have sex with them, in secret. Gaetz has repeatedly denied the allegations, but we dug up an interesting line from his speech in Florida over the weekend. And look at this.
If you want something done, hire a woman.
Well, that sounds like a confession to me. I don't know. Gaetz's spokesboy, Harlan Hill, doubled down on his defense of his boss. He again said Matt Gaetz has never paid for sex. This is Harlan Hill. Do you think he even knows what sex is yet? Do you think he's... And with all the allegations and salacious details that are out there, this is the one Matt Gaetz is pushing back on the hardest. CNN reported he was denied a meeting with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and Maddie and Fatty are both crying fake news. A lawyer from Team Gaetz sent a letter to CNN demanding they retract the story, and Trump put out a statement saying CNN made the whole thing up. It's completely false, which I don't believe for 1 second Matt Gaetz hasn't reached out to meet with Donald Trump. The guy spent years desperately trying to show everyone how close they are. Look at all these pictures. America's greatest president. Love this president. This one, I think, is from the State of the Union. This guy, he sees Donald Trump, he turns into a human selfie stick. Here he is with the Trumps at the World Series. Another from that game. Here they are deep in conversation. Here's Matt looming in the background at Joint Base Andrews. Selfie outside Air Force One. Now inside Air Force One with the presidential seal, hanging with my squad on Air Force One. Here he is photobombing someone else's selfie with Trump. And that's not even all of them. All the guy does is brag about his time with Trump, which I guess explains why he'd be so upset about the idea of people thinking Trump won't see him. Maybe they'll share a cell together. Wouldn't that be sweet? But meanwhile, even out of office, Trump's still doing damage to the country. More than 120 million Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine, but there's still a lot of people who are skeptical and won't get it. Something like 40% of active Marines refuse to get the vaccine. So President Biden and his former boss Obama are teaming up to try to convince those who are hesitant. Joe and O are scheduled to appear in an hour-long TV special on Sunday night. It's called Roll Up Your Sleeve. It'll air live on NBC. And they have an all-star lineup: Matthew McConaughey, Billy Crystal, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Dr. Fauci, Jane Seymour. That's right. When you want the country to take a health issue seriously, hit them with a dose of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. But they're saying that if the ratings for the special are good, NBC plans to roll out more viruses this fall. Poor Donald Trump. All he ever wanted was another show on NBC. Now Joe Biden has one. In other dinosaur news, scientists in China, they keep finding things. They've discovered what they believe to be the oldest reptile with opposable thumbs. It's a flying creature now known as Monkeydactyl. It sounds like a word Joe Biden would use for nonsense. That's a bunch of monkey-dactyl, but it's not. That's what it, that's the monkey-dactyl. I was hoping it would look like flying monkeys, but they just look like little dinosaurs in Trump hats, really. They have claws, thumbs, and a giant toothed beak. They're like the Swiss Army knife of dinosaurs. They could kill a woolly mammoth and open a bottle of Michelob Ultra, no problem. You know, there was a notable celebrity death today, but not one that anyone seemed too sad about. Bernie Madoff is now in hell, convincing Satan to empty his 401k. Bernie Madoff, who, it's still hard to believe a guy who made off with all that money has the name Madoff, but he died in prison. Among the people he defrauded during his life were Steven Spielberg and Kevin Bacon, which I think technically qualifies him for the Oscars in memoriam montage. He swindled a lot of people, including a lot of famous people. Basically, if you're ever watching a Netflix movie and a very well-respected actor has a 3-line role in it, that's because Bernie Madoff took all his money. Earlier tonight, CNBC ran an hour-long documentary about, you know you're a piece of garbage when a documentary about how awful you are is all ready to go the minute you die. I didn't know this until today. Bernie's scheme actually started in the 70s. He defrauded people for 40 years until he was finally turned in by his 2 sons. You listening, Donald Trump? Just something to file away. All right, we have to take a break. When we come back, we have something special planned. Our pal Yaya is here. If you know Yaya, you know fun is about... There's Yaya. Yaya is making his final appearance on the show. But before he goes, we're going to play TV's most confusing game. Terry Crews and Corinne Fox will go head to Yaya's head as we play Name That Famous Celebrity. So don't run off. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, click the subscribe button. And if you didn't like it, well, you hurt my feelings.